the hottest dude in the podcast game, Sebastian Conelli. And as always, per usual, we got the cute boy here himself, Robbie. Robbie, say hello to all the beautiful people that listen to the show.
Beautiful people that listen to the show. Hello. 11/11. We're recording this.
11/11?
Yeah, November 11th.
That's beautiful. We love angel numbers here on this podcast.
Make
We're
a wish.
always a podcast that loves angel numbers. So thank you for bringing that up. So we missed last week because of the election and what's going on in the state of the world and everything like that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, just so everyone knows where this is going. We just want to say from both of us on the podcast, Rob and I, this has been a very sad week, and it's very illuminating. It was a very illuminating week on the state of the world and how things are going, and we feel bad. We feel very bad.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah,
I felt sad for a long time.
I know, and you are always
I've been very sad for a long time about the state of the world.
You're a person that in my life you come here and then you. I'm not on politics and Twitter stuff like you are, right? And you come here and then you talk to me and you educate me about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. And then we have long conversations about things that we never bring to the podcast.
Yes. Sebastian and I do talk a lot about the state of the world. I complain about the state of the world.
And I listen and I ask questions.
For
and
sure.
I'm not like, my parents would be very proud. I'm a good student. I will always want to be, continue learning.
You are a very good student.
I listen and I think, and then you leave and I think more about it, right?
But that's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah, I don't normally, you don't leave and I go, okay, Donkey Kong time,
Yes.
So, no, but we have a lot of these conversations off mic, and we never really bring it to the podcast because we always, as I mentioned in the last episode, this has always been a place where we're trying to bring lightness and joy and escape some of the realities that we're dealing with. Today we can't.
Yes. I think today we'll be happy at one point.
That's good. Yeah.
I want people to, if you stick around and listen to this episode, you will get some of the joy that you maybe tap into every week.
But how could we not talk about this?
Of course. I mean, I it's all that's on my mind almost every day. It's been consuming me for years at this point. I look around the state of the world and it is hard for me to think about anything besides this
And
stuff.
You were a person that was in the system that left because you hated it so much.
I was, yeah, for sure.
For sure, Rob.
I worked in finance, and I saw, I studied finance too, and I understand capitalism, and I understand how it's bad. And I saw what was like going on, and I also then follow the news. I do a lot of independent research, I would say. I don't know. I follow different sources. And I have friends that are really good resources and that are in certain spaces. And they tell me what they see. I share resources with people in my life and try to stay educated. But also I can just see what's happening in the state of the world. I could see how people are changing their behavior. You could kind of see what's going on, I think, in the state of the world. And the writing has been on the wall for quite some time. And another reason why I didn't want to talk about things, I would say, prior to the election, I mean, if you listen back to how I spoke about the election before it happened, obviously it was very obvious to me that Donald Trump could not become the president because he's a horrible option. And I think all of our country's issues are going to get a lot worse. And everybody's very good at identifying issues. And I don't think really identify solutions, right? Like both political parties kind of just like attack each party's bad things, and they don't really come with a lot of solutions.
And I think that for me, I couldn't imagine Donald Trump as president because of the hate he spews. Also,
yeah.
Besides like the economic stuff that you've taught me about, because I'm not a person that ever learned about finance or anything like that.
Yes.
Robbie has taught me simple stuff about credit cards I didn't even know.
Yes.
I'm a dumb. I was raised by 2 teachers who just were like, oh, you get a union job and then you get Social Security and pension when you retire. You know?
Yes.
My parents never learned any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was never passed on to me. I studied engineering and then the arts.
Yeah.
So I never learned. So you have taught me that. But for me,
which
it
is
was
beautiful. The arts are beautiful. I wish I learned more arts as a child.
But for me, there was a lot for. I couldn't believe. Watching this stuff, I was very disheartened by even how many people voted for someone that is filled with so much hate and wants to continue to create hate in the country.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's for sure. That's very sad.
It's like undeniably sad.
Yeah. I mean, the response is very sad.
It feels sad to even that we even have to say
the fact that there's so much people emboldened by this hate and like using it as a way to express it is sad. It's very sad.
How could people not want? I mean, it blows my mind that people don't want other human beings to just feel safe and to have food on their table.
Yes,
to feel safe and have food on the table has to be the bare minimum, and we don't have that.
Yes, and by safe, you mean safe from hate? I would imagine.
Yes,
like safe from hate. I don't know.
Safe from hate. Safe from feeling safe with your body. If something happens, that you're able to take care of it. Right. Safe that you're allowed to go into spaces and not be looked at as less than and treated as less than.
Yeah. And safe, I guess, from other things that are happening in the world, say crime or whatever else. But I think the symptom of what this crime is and our solutions to it is very off. I think we don't identify solutions well at all as a country. But I wanted to go back what I was saying about whatever people criticizing both sides. It's like there's so much Trump jokes. There's so much anti-Trump stuff. Like we're seeing this all over the place, and we don't have. What are we gonna add to it?
Nothing.
That's that good. Like
politics are serious to me, and I'm not good at joking.
We like to be loose and silly.
I want to be loose and silly, and that's not
very loose and silly.
We were talking before the episode. I'm like, I can't riff on politics stuff because I don't want to say the wrong thing, or like I can't. I want to be precise. Yes. I'm not gonna be.
Yeah.
You hear the bullshit I spew.
Yes. Yeah.
I talk out my ass.
Yeah.
And I love it, and I think the people love it too.
Yeah,
but I don't want to talk out of my ass
about
this stuff. Yes.
So I guess to me, it's very obvious to see how Donald Trump is bad.
Yes.
And a bad person and a bad option, and like he wants to abolish the Department of Education. My mom's a teacher. Your parents' teachers.
I mean,
It's like for us, like that kind of stuff is just like very black and white.
My father, and he's like. He can't believe it, you know?
Yes.
Because he spent his life trying to make that a better thing.
Yes.
So he believes in education more than anything.
Yes.
And I do too, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important. That's exactly you're a good student. Yeah, you want to learn something, you learn it.
I mean,
you do an intense amount of research. If there's an issue or something that we've talked about, you go back and you do a lot of research.
Yeah. Well, even
you are well
think
read.
About my London trip. My dad, I was out drinking till 3 a.m. My dad would make me wake up to look at arts and history.
Yeah, which is good. I like that.
But nobody
I like to do that too.
Yeah, I know.
Which people don't think.
Yeah.
Well, your parents didn't think. They were surprised that I like to do that too.
They were worried.
I almost went. I wanted to go to Washington D.C. or like I like to go to like
my parents
history
were
trips.
They go make sure Robbie's. They took me to the side. They go make sure he's a good tourist. He needs to learn about other people. I go
no. This is how that's what I love to do. I love to meet local people. I like to go to the restaurant.
Me too.
That's what I love to do.
Well, they weren't worried about us hitting the restaurants, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
What do we mean? We almost did double dinners.
Yes. But I think the reason that he has existed in that way for quite some time right now, and like, it doesn't make me sad. Of course, does it make me sad that he exists in this vacuum? Donald Trump. Yeah. Yes. What was making me more sad, I think, more recently, is that we weren't really doing anything about it. We weren't really doing anything to slow it down. I could see the writing on the wall for a little bit of time that we don't really have an opposition to this. And I feel as if like people are smarter than this. And I think that we just kind of see that. That's like a lot of people's takeaway. But this has kind of been stuff that behind the scenes I've been talking to you about for a while. Mm-hmm. And that's why I didn't, like I was saying before, if you listen to the last week, I don't even say Kamala's name. Because I believed in the fact that we shouldn't have Donald Trump as the president because he will do horrible things to women's rights, to trans people's rights, to embolden racists, to expedite this hyper-capitalism world that we live in.
For people in the country, deporting them
is horrible,
for people
horrible
trying
things.
to come to this country for a better, safer life.
But if I'm going to be real, and like I don't want to critique, I didn't want to publicly critique like the opposition, whatever opposition, because that is not like A, we don't have this huge platform, and B, it's like, all right, I don't really know how that helps. Like I don't like what I think helps is what we do, like bring joy to people, create community. Like the things that we talk about on the podcast are things that I think help the world. And like I didn't feel like just throwing all this blanket support under this person. I mean, at the end of the day, they gave more money to cops than ever before. Like we were not getting this like opposition party. We're seeing people protesting in the streets. We're shutting that down from that side. Like we're not following the movements. We're not like we're trying to tell people, oh, the economy is better than it's ever been. The stock market is as high as it's ever been. Who are you telling to these people that the economy is as better than it's ever been? We can't afford rent. Like people can't afford things.
Who's gonna
like
buy stocks?
And I don't think that Donald Trump is the solution. He is the cause, and he is a bad. Like he is not. He's going to make all of the issues with what I have with the Democratic Party worse. Like my issues with them, he will make them worse. So it's like I don't. But to me, what was so disheartening is I don't even have an option. I don't have any option to represent how I feel.
And the Democratic Party shut down other options when they tried to come along on purpose.
Yes. And could I be doing more to organize? Like everyone could be doing more. And I think that's something that a lot of people will take away from this is like they should look inward and do more.
I did. I thought a lot afterwards.
Yeah, of course. And we've been talking about this, and I think for a while I will feel guilty that I'm not doing more. And I try to do more in like with this podcast and my other job that I teach swimming. So it's like, all right, within those two things, can I do more in my community? Positive. To build community, to do more in that way.
To spread more joy than hate.
Yes.
Right?
To spread more joy, yeah. To build these foundations, to like, care about the people around you. That's the strongest, I think, thing that we can do in this time.
I think you are very thoughtful about this stuff, and it's nice. And you wrote something very, very thoughtful online during the week.
Yeah, I woke up, I guess Thursday, and I was very pissed still. Yeah. I've been having trouble sleeping. I mean, realistically, I've been having trouble sleeping for a long time.
Yes.
If we're going to be real. And these issues weigh on me for a long time because I have seen the writing on the wall. We went to go vote, and I told you I feel like I'm getting a vaccine.
I know.
I felt horrible just because you could feel it. Like it wasn't like I wish that I was going to vote for something that I truly believed in. Was going to help. I was voting against something. I wasn't voting for something.
I think a lot of people did that too,
which is unfortunate.
And I think it was important to vote against something.
I agree because it's crazy.
I do think it's important.
Extremely important, and that's the point that we made.
To vote against hate.
Yes.
In my mind, that's what I was voting against.
But I couldn't, in my right mind, convince anyone to vote for something, which was unfortunate.
And people like pushing making people smaller.
Yes.
We don't want that.
No.
But you were very thoughtful in what you wrote.
Yeah, I mean, I have somewhat of a unique insight into the capitalism.
That's what is interesting to me because you studied it and then you worked in it for a while. And
and you could see how the writing on the wall. And I left to never return.
And I don't think the average person knows that much unless they went to business school about.
Probably not.
Or unless they're self-educating themselves about this stuff. Right? I mean, for me, I told you I didn't know anything, and I've asked you to sit down and explain what stuff about the stock market. What is this type of buy? What does this mean, right? And I've had you explain, and Robbie loves that because then he gets to start talking numbers.
I do like numbers.
His eyes light up.
I roll off some crazy numbers to you the other day.
I will tell you this.
When I was explaining derivatives, financial derivatives.
When you do numbers, you need to go in you need to use 10s rather. Sometimes you'll be like, okay, so let's say 7. And I'm like, Robbie, why are we picking the hardest number to wrap our mind around? Yeah. And it goes, and so if 7 grows 8-fold, I'm like, why can't it be 10, Robbie?
Yeah, I got to use whole numbers.
You got to use whole numbers. That's my one critique on you explaining this stuff.
Yes.
But I do go to him to like explain things that I don't understand about the stock market, which is a beautiful, not beautiful. It's an important resource that I don't think everyone has.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Which, sure, I'm happy to explain. I like to explain. I like to be a teacher.
His eyes light up when I say, tell me numbers.
I like to explain.
You should have seen him when we had the measuring tape out. We would play with it he would play with it every single day, looking at centimeters to inches. Yeah. The kid loves numbers more than anything.
Sure. But I'm in this space for quite some time. Yeah. This podcasting world, social media, algorithms on the internet, and you and I trends of certain things like that, and seeing what that landscape has been like and how that's changed, and I have takeaways from that. So I think I applied certain views that I have and how they're intertwined, or certain experiences that I have and how they're intertwined. Like that's what I kind of spoke to in my response to this, or like how I was feeling, because that's what I know. I know that. I could read what I wrote. A lot of people reached out. If you're one of the people who reached out, saying that you liked what I wrote, or you felt happy that I said something or spoke on it, like I appreciate that. So I guess I could read what I wrote, and then maybe I'll talk a little bit about certain pieces and why they're important to me, and my further takeaways.
Cool. Go ahead, Rob.
So I started by framing, like in my caption, I just wanted to frame that we need a place for working class people that is absent of hate to organize, create community, and advocate for themselves in a real meaningful way. That's how I feel. Sure. That is like the underlying thing of how I feel. And I don't feel like the Democratic Party was that. Like I said, I didn't feel like I was voting for something. I was more voting against something.
And you and I have always been of the working class.
Yes.
And we currently are. And
I mean, my dad worked in finance in Wall Street. He had a high school degree. And during the financial collapse, he never worked in Wall Street again. So he wasn't I think had a working class mentality and a not working class job. But my uncle's all working class now. Sure. Since then, my dad hasn't worked in finance since I was a fresh 2011 around.
Okay.
And my mom has been a teacher since then.
Yeah. And my parents are educated, but they were both teacher salary. You know what I mean? That's very much. I mean, my mom's siblings were hairdresser, teacher. My dad's siblings, elevator workers. So my dad was not necessarily a working class job, but I think he had he was a working class guy in a non-working class job. And ultimately that was why he wasn't able to work in the field since 2011. And we both, I know for me, I grew up in a very working class area of New York.
Yes, that's where my dad grew up. Right? My dad and your sisters went to the same high school.
Yeah, I did not grow up in a place. Manhattan is not a working class place.
Not most of it.
Most of it. There's a lot, and it's
anymore.
It
was
at one point. Yes, but they push everyone further and further out.
Yes, right. But I was always taught that we were a working class family.
Yeah,
despite that. But I wanted to just be honest. That's the distinction.
Okay. Cool. Continue. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine. So I just wanted to say that whatever. I don't feel like I'm not trying to push. I had never been during this election cycle trying to push people towards the Democratic Party. I'm trying to push people away from Trump to be like, this is the worst possible scenario. But all right, I'll just read what I wrote.
Go ahead.
It is undeniable the influence Dave Portnoy, Elon Musk, Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, and others had in this election. These people are not champions of the working class. They're not anti-establishment. They played a huge role in bringing back a president that facilitated the greatest transfer of wealth from the working class to the ruling class in modern U.S. history. Joe Biden is not innocent. He should have done a lot more to offset this and deliver for people that struggle to feed their families in the last 4 years. But we are in this dire economic state because of Trump's tax plan and Trump's economic response to COVID. Read those two bills and our economic state will make sense. These people being Dave Portnoy, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, pretend to be allies of the working class, and they are not. Honestly, and Joe Biden, I'll include in that. These people pretend to be allies of the working class, and they are not. Elon Musk's net worth increased $30 billion in 36 hours since the election. That number is now much higher. I wrote this last week. A number most people can't comprehend. He does not care about free speech. He cares about himself. These are rich white men that just use their platform to usher in an extreme white Christian nationalist agenda that will make them all much wealthier. No amount of rating pizza or small business fund will combat the policies Trump has and will enact that continue to decimate the working class. Fuck them all, and for what it's worth, Sebastian Conelli has more talent in his pinky than the four of them combined. Loud About Nothing will always be a working class podcast. That was my first post. I woke up and I just fired that off right out of my brain. I was so fucking mad.
I loved what you said.
Yeah, you didn't like that I included you?
I got so stressed. No, I love that you
included me.
I had a feeling
that you would get stressed. I was going to run it by you, but then I was like, I don't care because he's going to say no, and this is the truth.
I don't like that.
And he doesn't like the truth.
I don't like. I do like the truth. Wait, I like the truth.
No, we're around you. Sometimes you get uneasy about the truth.
I don't. Yeah, that stressed me out slightly, but I didn't even bring it up to you. This is the first time I'm even saying it to you.
I figured it would.
Yeah.
Well, let's go through all four of them. Who do we think has more talent? I mean, Theo Von live is horrible. What do you want me to say? He's funny on his podcast sometimes.
He's been funny. I've enjoyed stories.
I have enjoyed stories, and I think certain things he does is funny.
I think that he has a funny way of speaking.
Yes.
Which is great, but I do think that he spews. He's the person. Remember, I brought up Pretty Privilege on the podcast, and he was my example.
Yes.
Did I talk about that on the podcast?
No, I don't think you did.
That like when people like I saw this whole video, and it's like people should look at Theo Von for Pretty Privilege.
Yes.
Because he gets away with saying more because he's kind of handsome. We shouldn't look at who's a very hot guy.
I don't know.
Henry
Cavill.
Right, Henry Cavill. Right? We shouldn't look at Henry Cavill because he's to a degree that it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Theo Von is like kind of pretty. Like a lot of girls think he's attractive. A lot of men think he's like a lot of people think he's attractive, so he gets away with more because he's attractive. People find him funnier because he's attractive. Right?
Yeah.
People laugh at jokes from pretty people more. People think that if you're ugly and fat, comedy's easier for you. No, we just got better at it because we had to do it fucking longer.
Yes.
That's
there we
the
go.
only
this
difference.
Is what I want to hear.
That's the only, like, people laugh at pretty people's jokes easier. Fat people don't have it easier in comedy. We just worked, we put in the fucking hours.
Yes.
Right? And so there is this rhetoric that fat people are the funniest because they look funny. No, we just couldn't hide. I always said that I had to hide through my personality.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I had to create, I couldn't hide physically, so I had to create something.
Yes.
To make me feel safe.
That makes sense. I mean, that makes total sense.
Yeah. So, sorry.
He just had to be a little funny. No, I love this. And I agree.
But I don't think, I mean, people don't find me funny, and that's okay.
This is what I'll say. Theo Von, I don't know what these people, again, we're debating the wrong stuff.
Joe Rogan's not funny at all.
He's not funny live. And he's not really funny on his podcast.
No, he's not funny.
And Theo Von is not funny live. Maybe he's funny on his podcast, but like, people go see you live. You're undeniable. Yeah, he's not funny. Yeah, he has no talent.
Yeah,
Elon Musk no talent. Like, what are they?
Man.
They're barely. Yeah, they're good at manipulating people. I'm sorry,
but
at
sports betting.
Being good at manipulating people is not, in my opinion, a talent. But I just want to say, people see you perform live, and people see those people perform live. I stand by that 10 times out of 10. I don't like talent wise. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I think that we do. I said Loud About Nothing will always be a working class podcast. You won't see me doing that kind of stuff. You won't see me talk like I didn't say shit about Kamala like because I don't believe in it. Like I'm not gonna steer working class people in a direction that I think is wrong. And that's how I am. Like I won't do that.
That's good. That's good. I always say this, the Bernie Mac quote that I love.
Yes.
You're always funniest riding the bus.
Yes. And I think that
and I say that to us since day one. Like I brought this up because I believe that you need to be a part of the people.
Yes.
When people, there's always this cliche when they get so famous, like a normal working class person, that they then start talking about, oh, my Maserati, can you believe the leather wears out so fast?
Yeah. No, that's not. I don't ever want to be that.
Neither do I.
And that's part of where we're on the same page.
And this is why I love Redman's MTV Cribs, because everyone showed their beautiful house. They went to Redman's house in Staten Island, and his cousin was sleeping on the couch in a shitty ass apartment.
That's hilarious.
He was a part of his people in his community.
That's hilarious.
And it only made everyone love him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he goes, he's good at his art, but he's still with his people.
Yes. I mean, these people are obsessed with being relatable and loved and by the general public. You can't have both ways. Be with the people then. You hate them, but want their love and validation. I know. Like, you look down upon them and it's like, no. You don't get to have it both ways.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. Continue reading.
But
sorry.
No, that's good. Don't apologize. I love
that you brought me up.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you.
But it needed to be said.
Yeah.
And you weren't going to say it.
It's just my pinky finger also has arthritis.
Well, your pinky, I said in your pinky because I've seen him get huge laughs with just using his pinky. So, what do you want?
I've been known to
many different pinky moves. Pinky rings, pinky slicking the eyebrow. Sebastian uses pinky in many different ways. I wasn't just fucking being hyperbolic, because I've seen you get huge laughs with your pinky.
Someone once said I had funny hands.
You do.
I do have funny hands. My dad has funny hands. He doesn't like when I say that.
He doesn't?
He's not trying to be funny.
But that's also what part of what informed that statement. I wasn't just talking out of, and people do agree with me. People in comedy, I'm sure, agree with me. I finished that statement, and then I was like, you know what? I got more in the tank. Because I was pissed, and I am pissed. It is not anti-establishment to say the F slur. It is not anti-establishment to say the R word. It's not anti-establishment to hate woke. Ask for a fucking raise, organize your coworkers, and demand better working conditions. Protest the record profits corporations are seeing. Protest the price gouging. Protest the extreme income inequality. Protest the fact that private equity is buying the housing supply in America. Get angry about that.
Okay.
This is like, I want to get to acknowledge that people should be angry. And there is something to be mad about. And the fact that it has been just co-opted that people should punch down. Like, this is what the directive is from this ruling class, is to punch down. It's to divide and punch down and get you to hate people that are struggling under this extremely oppressive capitalism way worse than you are.
Because if you punch down, then you're always aiming to go higher.
I guess.
Because then, right? Can I tell you what I tell people? I teach comedy.
Okay.
Right? Because I talk about punching up and down, right?
Okay,
I'm like,
this is a huge part of teaching comedy.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, why punch down, right?
Yes.
You don't. And this is, I don't even get political with this.
Okay.
I say this, and I don't know if I said it in the last episode. I said why I do. I think I did say this.
Yes, you did.
Why I do comedy is to spread joy. Why would I ever want to say anything that would make someone feel terrible if all I'm trying to do is spread joy?
Yes.
Why would you ever say something to someone, say something to a person to make them feel smaller than you?
Yes. I mean, if they're a billionaire, we could do that.
That's
but we need to punch up.
Those aren't people at your comedy shows.
Probably not.
No.
Maybe in Manhattan.
Never.
Recently.
Robbie.
You'd be surprised.
Well, I just mean,
yeah.
My goal, most of the people that are at a comedy show had a hard week and they're trying to enjoy something.
You're right.
Most of the people that absorb comedy, it's a release.
Yes. I mean, yes, that's true.
That's
I wanted to laugh all week. I'm just like, it shows you the importance of art and this. Yes. I think. I mean, I'll get to that.
I think, and I've from day one have been like, I don't think that you should say those slurs.
Yeah, of course.
Right, of course. And here's the thing: I grew up in Staten Island, and that has been a change from the beginning.
Of course.
Right, and I just said we'll be upfront about that. As a kid, people said that all
the time. Yes,
all the time. And I'm so happy I changed.
Of course, me too. We'll get I think we both want to talk about that.
Yeah.
If your response to what's happening in the world around us right now is to say more slurs at people that are feeling the state of the world worse than me, then you are a weak, small human being. You're responding to being bullied by bullying others. Stick the fuck up for yourself and stop pretending like you're doing something because you want to say slurs. Because whether you say them or not, you're still being taken advantage of, and your response to it is fucking pathetic. I think that's the big point I wanted to make is like, you doing all this shit, you're still getting taken advantage of. And that's what kind of, I think, breaks my heart with a lot of this stuff is just like all the hate, all this stuff. And it's like, your life is going to get worse. And you can't get that much joy out of hating other people. It has a ceiling. You can get joy out of seeing you and your community prosper. You can get joy out of seeing you and your family prosper. You can get joy out of taking your family on vacation is more exciting than getting into an argument with someone that you don't like. Like, what do you, like, you're relying on this dopamine or whatever adrenaline from the fighting is what's feeding you, and it's like there's a better world. You deserve more, and it's just very frustrating to see people internalize what's going on and how hard the conditions of the world are by just like getting this adrenaline from hate. I mean, and I wish we didn't. Like, I wish people were trying to get it from love.
I mean,
or like solidarity, or like let's fucking do it. Like there is power in that.
I think that we talk about it all the time, how we want to spread, not only talk, because it's so easy to get on these mics and talk about things that we hate. I'm not even talking about like hating, being hateful.
Yeah,
right?
It's being hateful.
Right? Like it takes an extra step to say what you love. I say that's true vulnerability.
Yes.
To share what you love. It's harder you have to connect with a deeper part of you.
Yes.
And it's
vulnerable to love.
It's vulnerable to love. It's vulnerable to be like, I want better for me.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
It's easy to be like, fuck you.
Yes. Yeah. It is, exactly. Because you have to come to terms with the relationship with yourself.
Fuck you has nothing to don't look at. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
I love this and I love this and want it to be better. It has a lot to do with you. All to do with you.
Yeah, 100%. Elon Musk paid $44 billion for Twitter and turned it into a propaganda machine that sold insecure men this idea that if they fight the woke mind virus, they are contributing to some sort of anti-establishment movement. By next week, his worth will increase by more than what he paid for Twitter, and you will be complaining that the Little Mermaid was black. It is easy to punch down. It is hard to stand up against bullies that are trying to manipulate you. I really hope the men in our country grow a fucking backbone and open their eyes. His net worth has already increased by what he paid for Twitter. Yeah. And I mean, these are bad people. The billionaires in our country are not your friends. They own all the media companies. They own the left wing, or not even left, whatever you want to call the Democratic Party. They own the ones that parrot those talking points. They own the ones that parrot Republican talking points. They own literally everything.
Well, I also think that people literally saying hateful things and slurs is, even if you don't, it's the worst type of comedy I've ever experienced.
I wanted to talk about that too. It's ridiculous.
It's what people, when they show up the first day for an improv class, think that is going to be funny.
Yes.
And it's a process to learn that is you just saying something that you shouldn't say isn't comedy.
Yes.
I think some people think that is what humor is, saying what you shouldn't say, or even they're like, oh, see, I'm taboo. It's weird. No, it's cheap and hateful and boring.
Yes.
It's boring.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's boring and not interesting.
Yeah.
If you just want to talk comedy-wise, not to mention how it makes people leave the room feeling bad about who they are.
Yes. Yeah, I want to talk about that too. Like once we're done with this whole thing. But I do want to talk about the state of comedy and how this is all.
I've just seen people, great, amazing people in comedy. I've been in comedy clubs for years now.
Yes.
So I've just seen amazing people and people that walk in off the street that want to try it for the first time.
100%. And you see the trends.
And you know who makes it to the top? Not the people that walk into that. Except now there's space for them.
Now that well, that's something I wanted to talk about. No. We're I get that. I wanted to talk about this Elon Musk situation. Okay. I don't know if people realize. So he used to get a lot of free money from Democrats, and most of his wealth is built on American subsidies. He got a lot of free money. Well, the Democrats thought that like it was good to show face, and it's just good in general, I guess, that we were going to have electric cars. And they would give a lot of free money to, if you bought a Tesla, the government would cover part of it. That was like a huge thing and he was this big liberal for a long time.
Yeah.
During COVID, they gave working class people, say, $600 a week and villainized them. And they gave billionaires pumped into the economy just from the trillions of dollars that we basically signed in this CARES Act, that it almost directly went into the pockets of billionaires. Mm-hmm. Almost the entire legislation of trillions of dollars went into the pockets of the absolute richest people on the planet. It inflated. We had the best stock market in the world the last 4 years. We had the best stock market in the world during COVID. And what was the news? People shouldn't be getting unemployment. They're not working for free. People need to work. It was all about the unemployment. So as people, and I was talking about this when this was happening too, as people were making $600 a week, people like Elon Musk were making billions and billions and billions of dollars, seeing returns they never saw before. When he saw that and realized that, then he's like, you know what? Why am I trying to deal with the liberals? Trump will just write me a job. Like the Republicans are like, fuck it. Let's just give these people as much money as possible. They don't care. They're not like trying to do this and show face. Like that's what I think the issue is. Like the Democrats have a similar strategy, and they just want to show face. They're just like, well, we gotta have abortion. We gotta have people be able to get married, and that's pretty much all I think they care about. Like they were not really pro-trans as a thing. They were anti-immigrant. They gave more money to cops than ever. Like they weren't really
the
like
liberals that were running.
The liberal, yes. Nationally, whatever. Yeah. Represented politicians. But Elon Musk is like, all right, fuck this. Why am I dealing with them? I'm gonna try to get on the other side. They could get me richer a lot faster.
He was like,
he's already a morally bankrupt human being. He just thought the sell of the EV. Then he realized he doesn't need all that. He just needs to go that way. He bought himself Twitter. Destroyed it, turned it into a right-wing propaganda machine, pretends like it's free speech. You have to be so fucking stupid to believe that this man cares about free speech or not propaganda. He bought the America handle and just made it into a right-wing propaganda. I am someone who is so far from right-wing. All I get is right-wing propaganda. All my friends on Twitter, they just get right-wing propaganda.
I don't use Twitter.
Yeah.
The truth about me and Twitter is I signed up for Twitter. And for some reason, my parental advisory, I put that I was under 18.
Yes, and now you can't use it.
So now, you'll send me tweets and I can't even read it because it has curse words in it. And I don't know how to undo it.
Yeah.
I am like an old man in that regard, so I don't use Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy.
But so I don't absorb Twitter. I'm a TikTok. I absorb TikTok.
Yeah, and I don't know what...
You get
what's going on.
Both.
You get things on there.
I mean, I was getting stuff on TikTok. I mean, you get whatever you're going to watch. TikTok is more, I think, just about retention rates. They just want to sell ads.
Okay. Interesting.
That's what I'm imagining they want.
But are you getting like good? I mean, I guess if I see something on TikTok, because like if I see something on Twitter, then I go, like it's usually linked to an article or something like that. And then I can look up who wrote it, or you could look. So like you have to do an extra level of, I think, research if you're on. But people should get comfortable doing an extra level of research always. I want to say, just do research, find stats, find like reliable sources.
Well, the courses need to be like just how you have to go get your eyes checked every so many years to drive.
Yeah.
We should have to do a media literacy course as adults.
A media literacy is in the absolute trash right now. So because it would be great to bring that.
I mean, I would love to know more.
Yes.
I would. I mean, I like personally, I would love to know more about the factual stuff around that.
Yeah.
Just how to know when something is real and when something is not. But they don't want to. These people just want to keep you on their apps.
Yeah. No, it's all money.
The crazier the take, the more unrealistic it is.
Yeah.
The happier they are in some ways.
So I guess I say I'm done ranting, but I hope people read all of this and don't just take what they want from it. Bernie said a lot about how I feel about the Democratic Party and the campaign they just ran. I don't need to say anything further. I will continue to advocate for the working class issues and continue to try to bring joy to people without using misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, or racism. Which is something, and we stand by that. Yeah, that is what we stand by.
We don't want to call. We love. I mean, I love people. You know,
of course.
I don't want. I believe all people. I don't know. It's so fucking. It sounds stupid to say.
It does sound very stupid.
I feel stupid even saying that. I believe that all people should have equal rights.
Yes.
It feels crazy, Robbie.
Yes.
But
I 100%. It feels crazy, but it's not. But it's not crazy when you think of what the play is. But you think of like what is happening in the country, and you think of what the play is. I mean, it's very sad. Yeah. But I want to say a few. I guess want to revisit.
Okay.
The comedy thing for a second. Just I wanted to get through that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I know.
This thing that has happened, I guess, or there's this word that they use to describe certain liberal media, right? They say woke, 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 woke. It's woke, which is crazy that a word that originated as a way for black people to warn other black people about racist space, about white people that are being crazy and racist, about like stay woke, stay aware of you're gonna
protect themselves.
Yeah.
to say physically safe.
Yes. To say physically, like...
Not even emotionally. Physically keep safe.
Yeah, just be aware of these racist white people and their institutions. The fact that has now turned into a slur, that they've used this word and created a new definition. It's not even like tangential. It doesn't make any sense. The word that has come of woke from what it was, it is a new definition. If this is in Webster's, this is two definitions completely different from each other.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of a word that has two completely definitions. I can't right now. But
I mean, usually it's like an item and spoon.
Yes.
You eat
exactly.
and you hug.
Yes.
I mean, what a beautiful example.
That is a beautiful one.
This is a beautiful example.
That's a beautiful example.
Right? Oh, God. I've never loved spoons more than just now. Right?
But they've created a new definition that is not a positive one.
No.
And it's, I guess, to
Think
describe.
about how happy Spoon was when they found out, hey, Spoons, did you hear what else it means?
Yeah.
To hug someone from behind. Spoons must have been thrilled.
100%.
This is not the case.
This is not the case, unfortunately. And it is unfortunate. But it is now used to describe, we'll say, socially aware or diverse media, right? They'll go, not everybody in the cast is white, or most of the cast is not white. They'll go, it's woke, or whatever. They'll go, it's a woke remix. It's a woke remix. Woke comedian, they'll say. We need to create a word that carries the same sentiment that these people who use woke as a slur towards whatever the hell they are doing. Because I don't know if people have seen these right-wing comedians or seen some of this like Daily Wire movies or see whatever the content that is coming out of these people that hate woke and is like so ham-fisted. It is not subtle at all. It is not good. It's not funny. Like Jim Brewer is just going around the country pretending to be a bird, and he's like, I'm a liberal.
Is he really?
I'm a liberal. And it's like, bro, what is the comedy here? You are just like, if you're going to complain about woke comedy that is good jokes that are just like socially aware, granted, is some of it politics first, comedy second, on the left? Sure, maybe so.
But
what is happening on the right is there is in this influx of comedians, which it did not used to exist, I would say. I don't know in your experience. Pre-pandemic, it did not seem like you could really rise to the level of success that some of these people have risen to by just being like a Republican. Basically, you're just like spewing Donald Trump's point of view and then just like kind of making jokes off of it. Like, I think especially if you were like getting in clubs and stuff, like you needed to have jokes.
Yeah, especially back, I think, but now a lot of it has to do with
now it's the internet, exactly. It's followers, and then they can come into
and you get a lot of politics will get you followers.
Yes, exactly.
If you say what someone wants to hear, it'll get you followers.
Yes, exactly. Very quickly.
And
this is what so many people,
and we're talking about marshmallows here.
Yeah, 100%. We're doing the hardest possible take.
But that's what I love.
Path. I agree, and I want to get to that too.
Okay.
But it is ridiculous because it's like whatever they view of woke and how it has affected media, which again is not the real definition of woke. I don't like using it that way, but I'm using it as they use it. Is happening so much worse. It's so much more offensive, the shit that they do. If you watch one of these Daily Wire movies, it is literally so offensive.
I've never seen any of them.
I've seen like a clip. A trailer. I've never.
I've seen trailers on YouTube. They advertise them.
I've seen trailers. You look at some of these movies that make it to theater that are like funded by these weird right-wing organizations, and it's just like so ham-fisted, so bad, so not doing anything besides just putting a message and shoving it down your throat. Yeah. And it's like most people some people are doing that, but most people are not. They're at least trying.
It's just like a swing in the other direction where they're
like, what? It's not even comparable.
The other direction. Yeah. They're like, oh, we're gonna do the opposite.
They're trying to do
what you're complaining about.
Exactly, and they're not. They are doing it so much worse.
Well, I mean, I do think that like punching down, as I said before, like punching down and just like being hateful towards people is the lowest form of comedy.
Yeah.
So but people sadly obviously are consuming it.
Yeah.
I mean
it's trash. It's literal trash. And I would love, like, I want a word to describe when people use right-wing politics over quality of content, because they've developed this woke, and I don't know what this word is, but like it's trash. Maybe it's just trash is not the right word, I guess. I don't know.
No.
It needs to be a little more specific, but they're making horrible stuff
that they used.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
to destroy one of their words.
Yeah. So
yeah, it is sad to me,
and it's sad
to see how like this state of I don't know. It's
and people
ridiculous.
Watch it, which is sad too. That makes me sad too, Rob.
Yeah, you're right.
That like people. The truth is sometimes like people absorb and like something that you do, so you go, I'll do that again.
Yes.
And the sad thing is that they got positive reinforcement from the country and the internet.
Yeah.
The internet, let's say, more than anything, right? That they got positive reinforcement from the internet to do that again.
Yeah.
We did a Gilmore Girls clip. It did well. Robbie and I said, great, maybe on the next episode we'll talk a little more about Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
Which
exactly
is just a look behind the curtain. But... one, I love Gilmore Girls, but
and
two,
you watched 200. I'm like, Sebastian, you watched 200 hours of Gilmore Girls. You talked about it for 10 minutes. It's doing well. Let's revisit. You have any more takes on Gilmore Girls?
Yes.
He did 200. He put all this time in. We could talk more about Gilmore Girls.
Because I did it because I love it.
Yeah, of course.
But
it's coming from a place of love.
But here's so we were like, oh, we'll do more of that. And what we're leaning more into is spreading, I don't know, joy.
Yeah, of course.
And what they're getting a positive reinforcement from the internet, the internet's a major issue.
Yes.
From the internet is to lean more and more into hate and that you'll be supported more, which is a scary thing to think of.
Yeah.
So can we talk about our demo here for a second?
Yeah, I wanted to say this.
Go ahead.
Before that.
Yeah, sorry.
So back in probably 2016, 2017, I did listen to Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Not super regular. I would listen if he had a guest I liked on.
Yeah.
And back then he was pretty anti-establishment. He was like, that was his thing. He was kind of a Bernie guy. And he was like, I'm anti-establishment, but I'm going to listen to...
He was a hippie dude.
His parents were hippies.
Yes. He grew up in San Francisco for a period of time, I think, right?
I forget. I know he was from Jersey.
I thought it was Boston.
He's from Jersey. Maybe he grew up in Boston.
I don't know.
He's born in Jersey.
Neither of us are major fans.
No. But at the time, he interviewed a lot of comedians. I was interested to see how comedians got their start.
Me too.
And he would bring on people that were he would bring on super left people, and then he would have on some of his, some right-wing people, because he was like, I'm anti-establishment. I want to hear different points of views from all over. And he wouldn't really agree, I would say, a ton. I mean, he's very easy interview. That's also a lot of these people. Nobody has the balls to do a hard interview, and none of the politicians or anybody will accept a hard interview.
3 hours of chit-chat with no pressing questions is...
On both sides. It's ridiculous.
You might as well just have a pizza in front of you.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we're not learning anything. To be like, oh, well, you got to interview them. All right, if all these people that platform these people... want to act like they're doing something, ask a fucking hard question. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Or don't have them on, or then you're just endorsing them. That's the reality of the situation.
Sure.
But Rogan used to have these people on, and he wouldn't really agree with them a ton, but one of his big things at the time that he did find a connection with people, right-wing people, when they would come on his podcast, was he did not want trans women in combat sports. And he was like a big combat sports guy, and he would struggle, I think, to find certain connections with certain people.
And he would hosts the MMA or something. I never was an MMA person
announces
either.
UFC, and it's like, all right, on the surface, some people were like,
and he
okay,
did it, right?
I guess he trained a little bit. Yeah, he's done it.
So
his whole life.
People thought he was like a source of information.
Yes. This is a basically non-existent issue. This is not something that is really that big of a deal. It is not the root of the issue. It is not whatever, but it was somewhat popular with his audience. He was like, oh, well, you could see how this, if they're still early in their transition and they're whatever. It is not an issue, but he would have these right-wing people on, and they would talk about this trans women in sports. Oh, you can't have trans women. And that was one of the only things that they would connect on, and the right-wing media circus saw that, and they just blew up this fucking issue to a level that is now I'm watching football on Sunday night, and there's just these ridiculous trans anti-trans ads that are like, this is not affecting any,
too.
like, but this is what it's like a small little thing that happened in this universe, and they're like, this is something people care about. We just got to blow this issue up, get them all fucking mad about this. They are just looking for things to get people mad about so that they can rob your money. And they saw this on Joe Rogan, and
people that truly we as a country should be supporting and helping.
100% more so than any other group of people.
A group of people that needs that is
created a non-issue, yeah,
and like that not only then have to deal with it themselves, but then have to deal like internally and figure that out, but have to deal with the hate from other people. I can't imagine how hard that is.
But it has started on Joe Rogan. Like, I truly believe that the transphobia panic could largely be attributed to him and his show,
which is horrible.
Because it's like, and he came from a good place, and it's just like, oh, this was one small thing that he would agree with them on, and they literally took it and they were like, oh, that kind of connects with this leftist audience. Let's blow it the fuck out of proportion.
Because they're looking for things,
small little things to get people angry at, so that they can literally just rob your money.
We have to remember that they just want to keep you there so that they could sell more ads.
100%. That's exactly what. That's why I came back to that.
That's all they want to do. They just want to keep you there to sell ads. So whatever they don't want
anger,
truth.
It evokes an emotion that is addicting to keep you there.
You know what's
I'm just giving you new things every week to be angry about. It's way easier to make money that way than the path that we have chosen, which is to make you feel happy about things.
Truly harder.
Significantly harder. But we do not change.
I don't care.
We have not faltered.
I don't care. I don't care, and we will try to spread joy, and that is all I care about.
One of our main messages.
Silly. I want to be silly and make people happy.
And we talk shit about some people sometimes. We're joking around. This is what we like. Taylor Swift fans, we're sorry. We love. I don't know if we love you, but we love things about you that aren't your Taylor Swift fandom. We love a lot of things.
But here's the thing:
we could find beauty in every single person in the world.
People chose to be Taylor Swift fans. That's also
100%. 100%.
If you chose to be a Taylor Swift fan. I don't even hate them. I'm
not
saying
of course,
I
we don't hate
them
any. I don't. Yeah,
but
of course not.
At the end of the day, when you chose to be that's different than you hating on someone that doesn't. That's who they are.
Yes, 100%.
There's a complete difference in that.
Yes.
But so I do think that for algorithm stuff and our demographic, I'll go to now. Right. When we first started, we were pretty split, 50-50 men and women.
Yes.
We're pretty half and half, right? Because they tell us who kind of listens to the show.
The first year we didn't really put any content into any algorithms.
Nah, we were just kind of like, and which is great because we got our feet under us.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we look back, we could have done stuff different.
We could have done more. We move forward.
You can't look at the past. And we were half and half. And as the show has grown, the split between women and men that absorb our content and our show has really leaned towards women and gone away towards men.
As we've been more in these algorithms,
especially online.
We're exactly for sure online, and even then the audience that we have here
that stays for the show. And for me personally, I know that when a clip of me talking goes out to an algorithm for women, I feel much safer for them when it goes out to the men, because I know when I start seeing those hateful comments, it will be mostly men absorbing it, and they will shit on me for how I look.
Something has happened in the algorithms of men is if you're not being misogynistic, telling them to grind, like telling them how they can get more jacked, telling them how they can be less lazy, like you are not going to connect with that audience. And that's all that they're getting fed recently. The Andrew Tate-ification of these algorithms is something that we see all the time, and it's very confusing.
And we make fun of.
Yeah, we make fun of, and it's confusing because I don't think we do a show that's catered to women that much.
No, not
I think
at all.
we're very much ourselves, and we are dudes at the end of the day, and can be annoying, like not annoying, but like I have friends that are like, all right, Rob, you're being ridiculous. Like we
say stuff
women,
that's over the line.
We say things that are over the line, and I could see it, women being like, eye roll, most women, but it's like most of our women our audience is women, which we love you guys. We absolutely love you guys, and your patience with us.
Better fans.
And great, incredible fans.
fans.
You give us a nice leash. Like we love the audience that we have.
Yeah.
But it has we see it reflected in these men are impossible to reach. Like, we put out funny clips that I'm like, I think men would think this is funny, silly, and
where
like
are
relatable
silly men on the internet?
I know. Why are people not like silly men?
Where are the fucking silly men on the internet? What happened? We were raised by Adam Sandler.
Yes.
Why do now where did all the silly men go? Why is it all about fucking grinding and literally just pumping ashwagandha into our asses, right? I mean, why are we just, what, we were raised on that.
Yeah. And it's like the richest people in the world are telling you gotta work more, get yourself in shape to work harder, keep working harder. And you're like a little loser going, that's what I gotta do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go work for somebody. And work for yourself. There's an illusion you're working for yourself. You are not, they do not want tons of other billionaires. These people do not want you to feel better.
I'm happy you have a couple vending machines.
Yeah.
But like, this is exactly. Why are you shitting on me?
Yeah.
Like, this 100%. I've said this to you. No one has ever told me to kill myself besides men in my DMs.
Which is, and a lot of them have. Hundreds.
It's fucking brutal.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I have no patience. I have no patience for these people that comment. I got into an argument with one of them last week.
And I don't get in an argument because they just shit on my who I am, and I can't deal with that, man.
Yeah, I have no patience.
You and I are very different in that regard.
Yeah.
I do not want to get in an argument. I don't argue.
Yeah. No,
I'm not. I shut down when that shit happens. I need time to process, and I'm a person that like has been taught by the world to hate themselves.
Yes.
The world has taught me to hate me, and you know what? I listened, right?
Yes.
So I don't need to. I am fighting for me every day. I don't need to fight with them more. You know,
yes.
I can't. I'm not strong enough to fight with them yet.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
you will be. Well, you don't need to.
I don't. I'll
Maybe
never
one
be.
day you don't need to.
I'll never be. I think for me, it'll just be. Oh, they're small.
Yeah.
I hope they're okay.
Yeah. That's a nice way of looking at it.
That's what it has to be.
Yeah.
You know how bad a person's life has to be to go on the internet to shit on other people?
Yeah, I agree. I know. Yeah, for sure.
But
it's embarrassing. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's asshole behavior, and it's ridiculous.
And I think
it's ridiculous. And this is what these algorithms, like, I mean, the people that are receiving it aren't innocent completely, but this is what's happening. Like, if you're receiving all of this and being influenced by it, like, and then now you're just sending you a message to kill yourself, is like, it's partially the algorithm's fault. It's partially that you have this ability to hate inside of your heart. Like, I don't know, in any point I would be contacting other people. Like, that's crazy to me. But I see people that I know and knew my whole life commenting hate comments on other people's stuff, and I'm just like, this is so upsetting to me.
It's really
and it's embarrassing, and I'm like, I can't believe it. This is men that I thought had good hearts seeing this on the internet.
And so there's a lot of podcasts that are geared towards men that are hateful.
They're doing this on purpose because they want to feed themselves and their algorithms.
And we never sought out to create a podcast for women.
No. I love the women fans that we have.
We just want to create who we are.
This is who we are. Exactly.
Like, it was stuff about, it's always about like, let's talk about things that we're passionate about that are our small everyday life that make us feel great, right? Or that we are feeling.
Yes. And I have a lot of women friends in my life. And I also have a lot of male friends in my life, and they both like what I bring to the table equally. And it's just like, I make a room full of men laugh. I can make a room full of women laugh. When it comes to the internet, though, we can't do that.
I can't do that.
It's very strange. And this is something that we see.
If they look at me, they see I'm fat and think I'm weak.
Yeah.
Robbie, that's
it.
Truly, it goes boom, boom, boom.
I agree.
Fuck this guy. I'm not going to listen to a single word he has to say.
Yes, I know. We've seen this for 2 years now.
It's true. I don't know how to tell people if I create something for like geared more towards women, like something about Gilmore Girls or something about Target, which are things in my heart that I love.
100%.
I'm going to talk about them regardless.
Yes.
Women could look past my physical appearance.
Yes.
But men go, he's fat, fuck him.
Yes.
Which I'm not weak.
This makes me of course not. And it makes my heart break for women. Like, they're just doing so much.
Sure, because I can't imagine what they get.
Yeah.
From
and just they have to hold the empathy in the world. Like, what? It's ridiculous. We cannot put it all on women to hold all the empathy in the world.
No.
It's ridiculous.
And
you got the people that listen to the show. I mean, we have men that listen to the show that really love the show, that hit me up every week. And I'm like, I bet you these men do well in their lives. Like, as far as their relationships to women, as far as their, like, I bet you I would want to hang out with them. I bet you, like,
sure.
And I appreciate, we've had men since the very beginning that have reached out to us and been super supportive, and I love all our fans.
Yeah. We're just saying,
but it really just shows you on the internet. It's just like, it is crazy. And I feel bad for like how crazy men have gotten, because there are women that want to maybe share their life with a man. That are women that want to have a family or grew up wanting to have a family. And you look at the pool of men and it's just like, who wants to date somebody? Like, oh, I love this guy, Sebastian Conelli, who's really funny, very insightful, very smart. And then you go and you see somebody that maybe 10 years ago you would have been a match, and he's just, go kill yourself. It's just like, what? What are the men? What are these men doing?
I don't know, man.
It's very sad.
And I also want to say this. I have to believe that that people change.
I think that's something that me and you both are very much on the same page. We're on the same page about a lot of things, which makes this is the only ability that this exists.
And when
4
we're
years
not,
in,
you and I do a good job talking, and we always remind each other we're on the same team. Let's figure this out and talk it out. You know?
Yes, and we both believe in change, and that's a part of what allows those conversations to be productive. Is that we both believe that people can change.
Listening.
Yes. Hearing
other people before you just spew back.
Yes.
And I think that is one, you should be proud of yourself for that.
Of course.
And I'm a person who I sometimes look at things I've done in the past, and I cringe. I'm embarrassed at moments of who I was in my life.
I mean, I could go into how embarrassing and cringy I was. I did a whole show this year about how embarrassing and self-centered and like shitty that I was, and made people come on stage, make fun of it, and then let's act it out. Like, I think for sure that I look back on certain things and I'm like, oof.
I wasn't a good guy at moments. You know what I mean?
For sure, and I was a bad guy.
100% I was a bad guy in moments. And that sucks. That sucks.
Yes.
But grow.
Yes.
I've done a lot. I've read a ton of stuff in my life. I've gone to therapy. I talk to my family members. I try to remind myself how to be better.
Yes.
And I'm embarrassed of parts of my life, but I will continue to grow.
I think that's very important.
And I think that is so important, and I have to believe that other people could grow too. And if we want to get better as a country, we need to believe in growth and change also.
If I believe anything, I believe it's that people have the capacity to change. I think 100%. That's why I don't like prisons. That's why I think we need at the end of the day, people, no matter who they are, what they are, have the capacity to change. So that is everyone. That is people that just voted for Donald Trump. That is people that are in jail. That is
committed a hateful crime and served their time and learned.
Yes.
Excuse me. I shouldn't say serve their time.
Yes.
Right? Because I don't like that. Yes. Right? That experience reform.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. Very good wording. Yes. I think everybody can change. I've seen people in my life change. I mean, I think even you weren't a bad person at the beginning of the year, but I think you've changed over the course of the year.
I think the problem that I was experiencing a little bit was that I've been growing through is hating myself. I was like, at least I'm mean to myself. That doesn't hurt other people around me. Right? I'm only being mean to myself. And I kind of have been coming to terms and processing this, being like, oh, hating myself and not being nice to myself then hurts people that love me.
Yes.
And that's fucking hard.
That is hard.
That's because in my mind, I'm like, I'm not hurting anyone else. I'm only hurting me, right? Because I don't like me, right? But I'm trying to grow so much, and I'm trying to learn, and I realize that like not liking me hurts people that like me.
Yes.
And that's something that I've had to come to terms with, and probably haven't always been the best to be around because of not liking myself, you know? And so I think for me, I'm trying to love me as best as I can so I could give more love out.
Which I think is great.
And I think is necessary.
Absolutely.
And in order to
every single person listening to this, it is very important to establish a strong relationship with yourself and love yourself.
And it's fucking hard.
It is hard.
It's hard.
People that love themselves in a real way that they are, it's not in an egotistical way, not in a self-centered, like narcissistic way, that have this true relationship to themselves, that they feel respect and love themselves, they stick up for themselves. in the ways that are right. They aren't punching down. They aren't hurting other people. They understand, I need to attack these forces that are at bay.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people, and as I was saying before, the world told me not to, that I shouldn't love myself.
Most people.
Right? There's tons of people.
Fit, straight, white men are told to love themselves.
Yes.
We'll say.
Yeah.
Pretty much outside of that, you've experienced a severe level of propaganda. No matter what if you don't fall into that category, you've experienced a lot of propaganda to get you to hate yourself because that sells things.
And it's unfair.
Yeah, 100%. Very unfair.
But it doesn't mean because people experience so much more difficult things than I have, obviously. I'm just speaking I could only speak to me.
Yes.
And it's unfair, but it's still my job to love me so I can't show up for people in ways that when the right opportunity comes, when I want to go out and see my friends.
Yes.
That when something good happens to people I love, that I'm able to be happy and for them because I'm happy with me.
Yes.
Right?
That's very important.
And thinking that and it took me a lot of realizing and self growth to be doing that. And I'm continuing, and I've grown from before. I used to do drugs.
Yeah.
I then used to do comedy. Then I had issues about trusting and loving women. And then I've grown into having to love myself. This is all, and I won't fucking stop.
That's good. I love this. Don't stop. I think the people
every day I try to get a little bit better.
I think the more you love yourself, the better the world is. That's something I've said to you before.
And Robbie,
you have so much talent in the world. Not even just that, but let's go down this rabbit hole a little bit. You bring you have a capacity to bring joy to people in a way that I don't see. It's just very unique.
Well,
very unique. And in a way where I'm the more you step into yourself, the more that and I think you mean it in a very personal way. You want to show up for your friends, you want to show up for your family.
I don't mean it career-wise.
I know. I don't even mean it career-wise either. I think that you have this people want joy, and there's gems in the world. There's people, whatever, they want to laugh. We want people right now to laugh. And what did we both do this week? We wanted to go see someone that makes us laugh. We're watching TV that makes us feel joy, that can get us escape. And that's what this whole podcast, I think, is that we want that. And the more that you are empowered and the more that you have this strong relationship, the better that you are at bringing joy to people, the more that you step into this. We've talked about this before.
Yeah,
of just stepping into this person, because you are unique at the end of the day. Let's call a spade a spade. You're very unique. I've seen people all over the world
in ways that no one else has.
I appreciate that, but
in ways when I can't even step up for myself. You get mad at me.
I don't. I try to just be come on. I try to help you see that. I get it's hard. It's very hard. And I have a lot of patience for that. But my patience this year is different than it has been in other years, I would say. Sure. Of I need you to step up, man. I need the highest. You are. Sebastian is trying really hard, and he's doing a really good job. And I think I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. And I think you are loving yourself more. And you are putting you're a different person than you were a year ago.
Sure. And I'm different now than I was 3 years ago,
Yeah. But
I can't look, and I think that we need to allow people to grow from their past.
Yes.
And that means their past might have started yesterday.
Yes.
And that's the way that things will get better in this world.
Yes.
And investing in their community and who they.
Yeah, I want to talk about community stuff too.
Okay.
But
I can't
back to you.
This. I can't.
You can't go back to you?
No, I can't.
You're gonna cry.
Yes, I'm gonna cry.
That's okay.
No,
I cry sometimes.
No, I don't want to cry though.
All right, don't cry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm
sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
But I'm proud of you because this moment is big, and I think that it's good that you've been doing this work to meet this moment.
Yeah.
Because people need people like you now more than ever. And it's exciting to me that you are coming.
Sure.
You are growing
inside
and outside. The world is coming along to that. And I appreciate the work that you've done.
Thank you.
And the world needs more Sebastian Conellis in this moment. And the better Sebastian Conelli is, the better the world is.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. No, I know. It's just hard to think about. So I've been so mean to myself my whole life.
Well, you could only the future is ahead.
I've been mean to other people in my life because I was mean to myself, and I don't want to.
That's okay.
And it is okay because everything I look at says you have to in order to grow, you can't just stare at the past. You know?
I agree. We're not looking at the past.
No.
The future is important, and the future needs.
Yeah.
The future is we can look towards the future,
Wow.
and that we don't want to look towards the past.
Two dudes talking politics.
Crying.
White man crying.
I mean, it's fun. It's sad. It is sad. It is sad.
We're gonna release. All our According Thorn and Roses.
We
said, how can we do good for the world?
That's what we said. That's the first thing.
We said we'll release our horny smut Patreon.
It's not that horny, but I mean,
my
heart breaks so much for the women in this country right now.
It's the least we could do.
This is the least we could do is put this out on YouTube and shit.
We're gonna put it out.
I don't know. We're gonna try to do more than just that.
I mean,
I think investing in your communities. This is part of what. Building these strong communities, isolation and people being alone, and that's how they could turn on other people. If you are in your community, you're seeing large groups of people, you're coming together, laughing, enjoying each other's presence. It makes it harder for you to divide and control.
Yeah.
It makes it easier for us if we can know that we have these systems in place that we can take care of one another. And the Democrats offer a horrible platform that barely helps anybody. We feel more comfortable being like, fuck that, let's go to the streets. We have these communities in place. Granted, we can't fight this shit forever, but people have fought through times of oppression by banding together. That's the only way to possibly do this, right? That is, people have throughout history been able to come together and be like, we got to take care of ourselves.
Photo online of like a shark attacking a fish, and then all the fish turn into make the shape of a giant fish, and the shark starts running away.
Exactly.
Right.
That is what we need to do. And since COVID, it's been more people in their houses, more people not coming together.
I self-isolate when things are bad, you know?
But this shit is important.
Yeah.
And I think, caring more, less about how nice your house is, more about how nice your neighborhood is. Less about like your backyard and more about your parks. Like that's something that I think people in cities have to do. They have to care about their communities because so much of our space is community space.
We don't have
as much space like that.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a very community-centered town even. So my whole life has been community. I was a Boy Scout. I'm volunteering every way. I know everybody from soccer, this place. You just are very community. That's been my life.
Here's the other thing. For me, community wasn't my neighborhood. It was going to the theater group.
Yes.
So I do think that community could also exist outside of your direct neighbors. Because in Staten Island, I didn't want to be community with my neighbors.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right? Because it wasn't it was a space that was horrible.
I mean, it was a community that was being ravaged by selfish drug people. Like,
yes,
it was a community that was being taken advantage of. And banding together prior to that maybe would have helped. I mean, it's been a slow deterioration. This isn't just something that happened because of Joe Biden or the past 4 years. This is something that's been building.
So I think community could be what a slew of different things, especially places. It's good to care about where you are. It's also good to, if you need a place to feel safe, to find that still.
Yes, 100%. I think with this community stuff, it's important to care about people that are not just your direct family, not your direct friends, not even that just live with you. I view the whole world as my community in a way. It's like you want to care about people outside of like your immediate space. Like caring for the collective good is important. Not goals. Your goals should be of the collective good is going to get better. I feel like not like I want a fucking Maserati. I want us to have access to transportation. I want us to have my goals are more us focused than me focused, I would say. And they have been since I quit working in finance. Like my goals were me focused when I was working in finance. Now I feel like I try to want us focused goals because I can make money. That's just how I feel. Like I feel like I can make money. I don't know. Maybe that's a gift that I have. I just feel like I have ability to make money if I want to.
That is.
I don't feel like it will be something that is that difficult for me.
I don't feel that.
Yeah. I try to tell you can. But
I know. I'm smart. I have a degree.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean.
But I feel strongly about that, and I'm like, I think more people. We need us goals. You try to have us goals over me goals. And this sentiment, like we always say, we grew up with sisters, and a lot of people are like, oh, like LeBron said, he's like, I voted for Kamala because I have a wife, a sister, whatever. we need to care about women outside of just that. Like, we need to care about the collective whole of women, not just because I have a sister. No. I have a sister. Me having a sister means I saw Legally Blonde the musical 150 times, but not why I think women should have abortion.
No, it should shape your interest in why I like Gilmore Girls. My sister's is why I like Gilmore Girls.
Yeah,
it's why I did musicals. I do think walk down the street and I go, every woman deserves.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with each other. Like us saying, because we always say that. And let's be real, I actually probably liked Legally Blonde the musical more than my sister, so I'm just throwing her to the bus there. But and she probably likes sports, so like we both like sports a lot. But we need to care about outside of your own immediate satisfaction. It will make the world a better place.
I think that people, like other big people, try to remind you that.
Yes.
Like that, like, oh, giving back does feel good.
Yeah.
And in ways, whatever way you can.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, even if that means talking to the people in your building.
Yeah, of course. That helps. Talking to people in your community.
So much.
Talking to people in your neighborhood. Like this
people don't have time or money.
Yeah.
But you always do have humanity.
I think the first episode of this podcast that we did where we talked, I was talking about how I was friends with all the people in my neighborhood, and it was Fi-Di. And you did a whole thing where I was Belle going to like Chase Bank and Chipotle, and it's like that was my shitty neighborhood at the time.
Sure.
But that's what I want. I've always been like, I want the Belle feeling.
College campus.
Yeah, I did love a college campus
because it was a college campus is about community.
Yes, and I was every night with tons of people. And I've always been a planner. I've always been someone who likes to bring people together and bring my friends together. I want my friends to be friends. Like, I've always been like, let's bring people together.
And that's a skill that you have, a great skill that not everyone has. I don't have that skill.
Yeah. No, and I realize that now as I get older.
That's not a skill everyone, and you not only have that, but you have fed that, you know, through the years.
My whole life. We used to do a sports day where we would organize almost like an Olympics with my whole group of friends.
It takes a special person to be able to do that, Rob.
And a lot of trips. Like, I had a group of 15, 20 people in high school, men and women, that we all hung out all the time. We're going to Point Pleasant. Who's going to drive? I'm calling the people with cars. All right, we got 3 drivers. We could fit this out. Like, that's always just been me. When I was in college, I'm planning events for that. And then I worked in finance, and I didn't really get to do that as much. I was planning like ski trips or whatever. But when I started then doing shows again, I'm like, all right, I'm back in my comfort zone. This is where I like to be. Bringing people, large groups of people together to laugh. That's what I like. That is what I am driven by.
Yeah.
So I that's what we want, I think, for this podcast. And I think I see all these people online talking right now. We need podcasters or media that is basically what we do, what we've been doing for the last 4 years. It is interesting to see now all these people online saying that that's what the world needs.
Yeah.
And which is in a way like motivating. I'm sad by the state of the world, but I've been sad about the state of the world for 2 years. This is now just my worst nightmares about the state of the world coming to fruition. But if you just were only sad on the day after the election, and this has been like, oh no, my world is going to end, then your world has been okay. Because there's a lot of people whose world has been not good prior to the election. There's a lot of people that this state that a lot of people I think felt on Wednesday has just been slowly creeping into them over the past 8 years. But maybe even more.
But even if you were a person that just realized it now, it's
welcome.
The more that
100%. I said welcome.
Yes, the more that realize it, the better.
Yes,
it's not where there should be no. I knew the long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. But
yes.
There's just been
people. But there have been people feeling it for years.
Yeah, yes. for a long time, and the state of the world has been weighing on them.
I think welcome
that
is
already feel
a good sentiment.
Yeah, of course, welcome anyone.
Yes,
any point at any time. In 2 years from now, you realize you made a huge mistake, whatever.
Get better.
Let's go. We can change. We will always be welcome here if you are absent of hate and you believe that you can change and you believe in community.
Yeah.
And you want what's good for the greater good, I would say. That is you are always welcome here. No matter what your past is, as long as you have the capacity to change today, I think you're welcome here. That's what I would say. Would you agree?
Yes.
Because that's who we are.
Yeah. And that's what makes the world better.
100%
is growth.
Yeah.
And this is a bad time where we need a lot of growth, but
yes.
It will be it's going to be nice to see it.
Yeah, of course.
have to say.
I hope so.
You have to hope.
Yeah, recommend. If you feel like there's men in your life that you think would like the show, please recommend the show. I mean, I don't know. This is who we are. This is what we stand for.
Yeah.
And this is what we plan on being. And I see all this stuff. This is what we need.
Fun,
like
yeah.
Let's do. We could still
stuff.
do some stuff today. I think.
You want to do stuff today?
Yeah, let's do it. I think we all deserve to ourselves to do 15 minutes of fun.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Okay. There he is.
Okay. So here's what's going on. Yeah, but tell people we believe in. I hope everyone. That's what's going to make it better if we allow people to change and grow.
Yeah, in my heart, this is what has kept me trying to do this. We've been doing this for 4 years, making a little bit of money, putting a lot of work into it. Because
we're no moguls. We joked about that in the beginning because of how poor we were.
Yes,
and we're still poor as shit.
Yes, and I want, I believe in this so much. I believe in you a lot, and I believe in this show. I believe in our message, and I believe in all of this stuff. So in some ways, it's nice to see people being like, oh, this is what the world needs, is what I believe in. And what I've been in my heart being like, this is what the world needs. And we put it out into the world. And I'm like, 2 mixed reviews. But I think a lot of it now is being informed by this whole man situation.
Yeah.
Because this is in my heart of hearts. I'm like, I believe in what I do every single day. And I've been in a situation where I don't believe in what I do. Yeah. And it's not fun. I believe that everyone should know how to swim. And every day I teach people how to swim. And that's something I believe in, and it makes me happy. And we've gotten more level 1 swim classes at my gym since I've been there. Like I am like, all right, let's try to I want to teach more people how to swim. Let me do that in a way that's what I believe in, and I believe in this to a ridiculous extent as well. So it's satisfying in some ways to see that the world is catching on. So please recommend the show.
Yeah, you don't have to recommend this episode.
No, I mean you can, but
you can. But
I would say we'll be back to funny next week.
Yeah, it will. We want to be an escape for a hard time.
Yes,
but still remember this is what's happening. This is what's happening here.
Yes,
and we leak it out. You know.
Yes.
So we always leak it out. All right. So let's do this. A Year in the Life, Gilmore Girls, the 10 years later kind of sequel, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people commented on the video being like, that's a story about Emily Gilmore, who is the mother to Lorelai. Rory's the daughter. Lorelai's the woman that gave birth at 16 to Rory, and Emily is the rich mom.
Okay.
So the rich mom, it's a story about the rich mom, and it's about her coming into her happiness and coming to her own. And the only way, and I think it's beautiful.
Wait, so did Emily disown Lorelai when she had Rory at a teenage year?
These questions make my skin crawl.
Okay, I don't know.
Of course.
She did?
No, she did not.
So Emily's
Lorelai ran away.
Oh, Lorelai ran away.
Yes.
Okay, so she didn't get disowned.
You got to hit the Wikipedia.
Okay, I don't know. All right.
So
she comes back to her mother, Rory's grandmother, Emily.
She comes back. Well, they came back early on.
Okay.
This is years late. They had a whole relationship. The whole thing is
okay. So Emily's in the original series.
The original series, she pays for her to go to Chilton, which is the fancy private school.
Okay.
But their arrangement is that you have to come every Friday for dinner.
Okay.
That's the way that she'll give the loan.
Okay.
Which is like a mom being like, come back in my life.
Yes.
I'll control you with money.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is a lot of people's experience, right?
100%.
But so A Year in the Life is 10 years later, and it's truly a story about Emily Gilmore. And what is her story? Her multimillionaire husband dies, and she's finally set free.
Okay.
It's about her. There's a beautiful shot of her with her fancy shoes on, and then her putting on Keds.
Okay.
And finally, she's able to be herself because she doesn't have to be in this fucking rich community.
Okay.
She's finally able to actually not hate on all the people that work in her home. Why? Because it doesn't matter what the influence of other people think is. Now she's tucking them in at bed at night.
Okay.
It's a beautiful story about how sometimes your multimillionaire husband dying might make your life a little better. Yeah. Now, does she end up on Nantucket? You better believe it.
Okay.
So she's still rich as shit.
Yes.
But it's her coming into herself. So I think if you watch A Year in the Life and you look at it through that lens, it's an amazing story.
Okay.
If we just get rid of all the Rory and Lorelai shits,
okay.
then if you just look at Emily, it is a beautiful piece. As she likes to call herself, the third Gilmore.
Okay. So people were mad that your takeaway was the Rory thing.
People weren't mad. People were
just like wanted to talk more about that series.
And I loved thinking about how beautiful Emily's journey was in that series.
And you wanted to let people know that you liked it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I've been leaning on my comfort shows and stuff like that. And comfort foods.
Yes.
You caught me.
That's all right.
You caught me.
What?
You know what? You said that's all right because you know what it's
the
about.
Yassos?
What?
The Yassos?
No.
What?
The cheese doodle.
Oh, the cheese doodle.
You
caught yourself.
No, you caught me.
Oh, the cheese doodle.
The cheese doodle.
Not the curd.
What's up?
The puffs. You got the puffs. You didn't like the puffs.
But
I saw the doodle.
You saw the doodle.
I saw the doodle. The crunchy doodle.
He saw the doodle.
Yes.
He came over the day after the election, and what's under the couch?
A cheese doodle.
There's no garbage anywhere. There's no garbage anywhere except a single cheese doodle. And hiding under the couch, and he goes, "You had cheese doodles last?" And I went like this. I go, "No, not me!" And my hands were literally. It almost looked like I was squeezing Cheetos Chester's ass because they were so yellow. He goes, "Did you have cheese doodles last night?" I go, "Not me!" And I had to tuck my hands away because cheese doodles are the food that you ate 3 days later.
Yes.
And there was that single doodle under the couch that you caught me with.
It's all right. You can have some doodles.
I'll never be the person that does it with chopsticks, though.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about that.
A person that eats the doodle with the chopsticks literally live.
I don't know what that is.
Live.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can't hate yourself so much.
Yes.
You can't hate the bag so much that you're going for that.
You just shouldn't get it.
Don't get it.
Yeah.
It's actually, there should be like a thing on there that says don't eat, like cheese doodles should do a public service.
Out the bag then.
Go full gavon.
Yeah.
Go full gavon before you go chopsticks.
Yeah, the opposite way. Yeah. 100%.
That would be one of the biggest red flags for me, honestly, is someone comes over and I put out cheese doodles for a snack. Honestly, great host. I put out cheese doodles for a snack and they go, "Do you have chopsticks? Get out of my home."
Yeah. Okay, what if they come over? So what's the strategy with this? You have a bowl of cheese doodles,
It's called
and
the
it's
cheese
a romantic partner. And
first off,
are they allowed to? How often can
they're not allowed to lick their fingers? You know why?
Why?
Because I get to.
Okay, you'll lick their fingles. So you don't care if they're licking.
Honestly,
but if it's like a friend, you can't really do cheese doodles with a friend, licking fingers. Now with phones,
the rule with the doodle lick rule
is what?
You lick at the end.
You lick at the end.
I don't care.
But if it's a romantic, like a woman, and she wants to then be on the phone, or like if I want to be like, you can't be on the phone. From start to end, we got to lock into the cheese doodles.
You lock into the doodles.
Or you lick and you're out.
One lick and you're out.
Okay, you lick and you're out.
That's what I say. It's like, that, in my opinion, once you do a suck on the finger for the doodles, you can't reach back into the bin.
Yes.
Because then you might as well spit in the fucking doodle bin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So I say you go ham, you go till you're done, you lick, and then
leave.
you could play.
You lick, you leave. Yeah.
You lick, you leave.
I like that.
And it's actually the only... What a serving of cheese doodles technically is how long you can wait before you lick. And that's what one serving is.
Yes.
Whatever that is, that's 160 calories no matter how many you ate. Yeah. Once you licked, that's 160 calories because that's a serving size.
Yes.
A serving size's doodle is from clean to lick.
Okay, I like that.
So just so you know.
Just some cheese doodle math.
We're back to the doodle math.
Baby.
Right, so that's for me. But you call, and so I've been leaning on comfort shows, Gilmore Girls, comfort food. You and I. So I like to eat, and you like to eat.
Yeah. And
so what do? We got those beautiful sandwiches.
Oh, we did get really nice sandwiches.
Right,
delicious sandwiches.
And I think that's something
that was nice. That was the day after the election.
You and I sat there in New York,
and Sebastian goes, "This is what I would do if I was on a date." And then fully does it for 10 minutes. He's like, "You want to see one of my moves?" And then he just does the move for 10 minutes.
I can't believe.
Which is Rome. We puts on Italian music.
What's even cringier?
And we're sitting outside. I mean, it was nice. I thought it was nice. I'm like, I'm down for this. You don't have to do this like layer of whatever you want to do. But I'm like, I'm cool with this. You don't have to preface it.
I had to frame it as this would be a date. I wanted to listen to Italian accordion music.
Yeah.
And I had to frame it to you, so it didn't seem like I don't know.
You just want to put it on. I mean, the world is bleak. We needed some music.
I didn't want to just go, hey man, can I play some music and not put on like something cool? You know, I wasn't putting on 50, right?
I'm not cool. That's what I think some people need to realize.
I know, neither am I, but still in my brain, I had to frame it as you know, if this is how macho I am. And I put on literally the most beautiful accordion music.
It was really nice.
As you and I sat there eating,
delicious,
talking about how beautiful the location that we are in.
Yeah, it was nice. Nice sandwiches. I'm comfortable in those situations.
Me too.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice.
I think more dudes should be like, hey, even if you have to frame it, this is what I would do on the dates. Yeah. You know, I would pay one compliment to you, and then maybe you say something nice about me.
Exactly.
More dudes should frame it as this is how I would be on a date.
And then they just meet up with their buddy.
And they meet up with their buddy and they do something nice.
I agree. I think that is more men should be that way.
Yeah.
I try to compliment my friends, especially if they're doing behavior you want to see more of course.
Especially look, also I'm wild. You come see my show, I go, how'd I look on stage?
You looked good. It was nice to see your show.
Yeah, it was nice that you came. I know. I knew that you were having a rough time, so I wanted to make sure that you were.
Yeah, it was like alone. A throwback. I've done that before without being your friend. Have a shitty week. Let me go see what Sebastian Conelli has to say on stage.
Nothing about the world.
Yeah. No, but it's nice. Which is nice.
Yeah, which is nice. But so I think it was nice to like lean on those comforts of us going to enjoy that beautiful sandwich.
It was very good. Yeah.
And what's nice is we could be gavones.
Yes.
It's good to have a friend you could be a gavone with.
Yeah, 100%.
An absolute pig.
Yeah. I know.
I feel bad
Which
for
is
people.
Nice that we're on the same page about that.
I feel so bad for people who don't have the pig out friend.
Maybe I don't look like a pig out friend, but I would like, you came over, you made like a dip. I came here, you made a dip, and you're like, the dip's bad. You're like, Robbie, can you eat it? Because we also, I think, both don't like to throw away food.
No.
And like to see good food go to waste gives us that agita too. That's another part of the whole situation.
Yeah.
It's like one of us has to eat the chicken parm. One of us, it's gotta go. Like we can't.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna throw it out.
Never.
So it's like, it's a team sport.
Well, people don't.
So it's like I gotta hold up my side of the bargain, and I just ate.
You had to. I said
12 pieces of bread and the cheese.
You had to.
And that makes you that. If I didn't do that, I think you would have been like, that sucks. I did that. It would have lost.
I feel bad for people who don't have someone that they could tag in.
Yes. You need that. That's my family. Is a lot of people that you got to tag in, and that's how I was a little bit raised, I would say.
I feel bad for people that go out and they're not like, we're gonna indulge.
Yes.
Like you have to at least have one friend that's gonna do that.
Yes. 100%.
And it was nice on the day on the election that you and I were like, okay, let's do this.
Food. We need good food.
Also,
that's something that'll make us. It just clicks in our brain. I don't know. It makes me feel good.
Well, you need those instant gratification kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those instant moments. I'm learning that I need to find those. You need instant stuff and then you need long-term stuff.
Exactly.
It's a balance of having both.
100%.
Right?
I agree.
And that's
the balance.
That is the balance. It can't just all be long-term stuff. No. Right? It can't all just be short-term stuff.
Yes, exactly.
But for me also, I've been like trying to get cozy and watch a lot of shows. I think getting cozy and enjoying shows that take me away are good too.
Yeah, you put me onto Detroiters. I cannot recommend more. So funny. Reminds me of just like what I liked about going to see you perform, what I liked about like the heyday of when I would go see improv stuff. It's so funny. It's like it feels like a live show almost. It feels like it would work live. And there's not a lot of TV that feel like it would work live.
No.
We've kind of departed from that in the comedy space.
Yeah.
And like even old sitcoms and stuff that were performed live, it's kind of a laugh track. Like kind of the audience is forced to laugh.
Totally.
Whereas this feels like this guy's earning all these laughs because he's going nuts. He is physically very funny.
A lot of wide shots.
Yes.
Which is like if you're close up and you perform in wide shots.
Exactly.
Like, right? That's like a more theatrical kind of situation.
Yes.
Seeing their whole bodies, right? A lot of close up. That's why the producer's movie didn't work, in my opinion, because Nathan Lane is a live performer and they filmed it like a movie. So it was all close-ups of him. Nathan's playing for the back of the fucking room, right?
That's what I like. That's what I'm like when I talk about the funniness. I'm like, someone that can do that is a different level, and I'll always prioritize them over other like ways to get people to laugh.
Than subtle funnies.
Yes.
Right? But Nathan was playing for the back of the room in close-ups. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't.
No.
You don't do that. I mean, like, if you watch comedies, they're not all close-ups like that.
No.
Think about the hilarious scenes in Bridesmaids, like when she's walking across the street shitting her pants. That's not a close-up on her face.
Yeah.
That would be so stupid.
Yes.
Right? But these are live. That's the difference, in my opinion. Also, another show I watched was Over the Garden Wall.
Okay.
The most vibes show I've ever watched.
Vibes? What does that mean?
It's just a complete energy. The show doesn't even. It has a plot that goes through it. But it's more like, this is cute. Look at this. This is like an artist created like a vibe and like just a complete vibe on Cartoon Network.
Did you like it?
An autumn vibe. It made me feel melancholy.
Okay.
But you know what? That's autumn.
Yeah.
In a sense, autumn is melancholy.
Interesting.
It made me feel like passing of time and death and like where we are, the journeys that we take, what we're looking for through vibes.
Yeah.
I've never met a show. I met the show. I've never met a show more that has made me have it sit with it. I didn't like it at first when I left, but I sat with the energy.
Yeah.
And it feels like just a total energy of this is what autumn is about.
Yes.
It made me want to wish I was with someone sitting there.
Yeah.
Autumn's a dangerous time.
Yeah.
Autumn's a dangerous.
The Christmas movies will start, and that will, I think, sink in a little bit.
Oh God.
It's already Christmas in New York.
Well, I want to say this about Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a hard launch for Christmas this year with all the election and stuff like that. I think what is actually going to happen is it's going to be a slow launch.
Yeah.
It's like
the Capitalism has already launched it, but like within our own personal lives, yeah.
I'm personally
Christmas cheer.
Not doing a hard launch. I'm doing a slow launch for Christmas, adding one thing at a time.
Okay.
And I think what's going to be nice about the slow launch for me is I'll get to enjoy each thing as I add it.
Okay. That is nice.
I got to go to one Christmas store the other day, and I bought the ornament.
I like
Pizza Slut.
Pizza Slut. You
Pizza
got
Slut.
it. Short term, whatever it's called.
You know how
sometimes I just need a fucking Annie Ann's pretzel, and I'm like, I don't know, this isn't gonna solve all my problems, but it'll solve all my problems for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I need 20 minutes where my problems are solved, and that's just the way a cookie. And I can't do that every day.
Can I tell you this?
But I can do it once a quarter.
Once a quarter.
It can solve all my problems 4 or 5 times a year. An Annie Ann's pretzel.
We got to hit the mall
for the rest of the day.
We got to hit the mall for this holidays.
Yeah,
I want to go to the American Dream.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I think that we're going to be slow launching, and I think I'm really going to soak in every step of the way.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to just switch on to like pure joy, you know?
Yes.
So I think like slowly easing into it is going to be, I'm not jumping into the Christmas season. I'm walking in through the shallow end.
Yeah.
And for me, when I bought the ornament that said Pizza Slut, and it was rather embarrassing to buy.
Okay.
Because I go up the counter. Very cute girl.
Okay. She was. Cutie. And now you had to explain it.
I mean, I don't know if it's all the Christmas stuff around her like it smells like evergreen there or that they were giving
Peter Sebastian's heart is an elf costume.
Kind of. Elf costume with her ass stripping. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Honestly,
it would work better, maybe even than the goth.
Oh God. 100%.
Yes.
God. I don't know if I'll ever meet my missus, but I better meet my Mrs. Claus. So I go up to the counter, and it smells like evergreen. They got free samples of stuff, and she's cute. And I put it down, and she looks at me, and she looks down. And I'm good with small talk, but I go like this. I go, sometimes you have to.
I mean, you were honest. That's what they teach you on stage. You just say how you feel.
Because she was
That's
judging
it.
me.
That's all you can do.
It was a $20 piece of plastic. And she looked at it and looked at me, and I go, sometimes you have to. And then she goes, and you did.
She got it. She had a tough week.
Yeah,
I think that was good.
And then
that was the right thing to say.
Yeah, thank God. But I would dip
instead of lying.
It wasn't the
instead
Sebi
of pretending
charm
to be somebody else.
It wasn't the Sebi Chianti charm coming out. It was the Sebastian walking through the door.
Oh, no.
Sometimes you have to, right?
Yeah.
And she looked at me and she goes, "Do you want it gift wrapped?" I go, "It's for me." And she goes, "You could still get it."
Gift wrapped?
I did.
That's amazing. That's great. She knew. She knew what you needed.
She knew I needed to buy a $20 pizza slut ornament. A $20 pizza slut heart ornament this week, and that I was embarrassed and I needed to have it in a gift wrap.
Yeah. That's good. That's what you needed. People needed whatever they needed this week.
And I don't even have a tree, but it's on my desk.
That's all right. Maybe you get a tree.
I will.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out. I have a lot of thoughts on Christmas, but we'll get to all that.
Yeah.
Coming up.
We'll be back. We'll be back on Christmas.
We'll be back.
Tough week, everyone.
It's tough.
Our hearts breaks for the people that listen to this podcast whose lives have been materially changed by the state of the world and will be changed by the state of the world. But we're here. We're still doing our thing. Please share with a friend. We appreciate you sticking around.
A lot of people did or have been sharing with friends. I've noticed online. They've
pod.
been tagging us in.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so
we appreciate that.
We really appreciate. We see that, and we really appreciate that.
And this is where we are. This is a podcast about spreading joy, creating community, and the importance of loving yourself.
Yep.
Well,
that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being with us. We love you guys. All right, Robbie, hit the music.